guys, welcome to an episode of Luke and Lewis. This episode we're joined by Cam, also known as Struthless. He's a brilliant illustrator, he's a creator, he's a YouTuber. He just published a book all about self-help, and he's a really interesting guy. This episode was really, really funny and great. I really enjoyed it, so I think you guys will. We also have some tour dates to plug.
Yes, I am. My final dates. When's this coming out? Oh, the Tasmania. That's it. I've added 2 extra shows: Launceston, September 17th, and Hobart, September 21st. We've added 2 more shows, and I'd love to see you there.
Yeah, I've got shows coming up in next week. I've got shows in the Gold Coast on the 16th, and then Brisbane on the 17th and the 18th. Those tickets are almost gone. Grab them. And then later on, I'm going to be in Perth, Adelaide, Hobart, Launceston, everything else cancelled. So get your tickets, loosebeers.com, and enjoy this epised with Cam, also known as Struthless. It was really, really great.
Hey, welcome. What?
This man is easily amused. Keelan said, give us a clap. I went, clap D, nerd. And Campbell died laughing.
Welcome back to Luke and Lewis.
I'm the Jimmy Fallon of Australia. I'm joking.
We're joined by Campbell, also known as Struthless. Welcome to the show, mate. It's good to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Really, really do appreciate it.
No worries, dude. If you don't know, I mean, how would you describe yourself? Because I probably maybe a few months ago would have just gone, a guy who draws and is kind of funny. But now you've expanded to like this whole thing. You're publishing a book. You're doing YouTube videos. Like, how would you describe yourself?
Oh, great question. I'd probably lead with, illustrator or animator, one of the visual ones. So then, But then I guess, YouTuber as well. And soon, I feel like I can't call myself an author until the book's fully out. But
You have a bunch of books that are yet to be sold. That's what you are at the moment.
Yeah.
And then when it's published.
You've still written the book, right? You finished it. Yeah.
Oh, that is true. Yeah.
As long as you've completed the book and it has been published, then I think you're an author.
Yeah. Who cares what people think about it, I say.
Well, dude, I recently found out about you, right? So, and then I went and watched your YouTube channel, and I wish, and maybe some people are finding out about you for the first time now, listening to this. I wish I found out about you a year ago, because you're my new life coach. Your videos are incredible.
Oh, thanks, dude. Yeah, the self-help's been a weird kind of like career turn.
Life coach now. You're putting life coach in there. You're like, author. Now you're working on a TV pilot. What's next? OnlyFans.
Yeah. Well, how'd you guess, man? Yeah,
I wish I'd have found that a year ago as well.
Yeah, only cams for the OnlyFans. Nah,
dude, it even rhymes. Get on it. You're wasting money.
Yeah, that's actually a thing. People believe phrases more if they rhyme. It's fucking bonkers. Yeah, so if you ever want to start a cult, just I don't know, go with a rhyming assault, I suppose.
Maybe that's why R. Kelly was so successful with his cult. Brilliant lyricist.
That's it. That's the only way that he could lure all those people into his R. Kelly dungeon was just by syllables and rhyming and But with the self-help stuff, it's been strange. I don't know. I think like. Maybe it's my fucking naive white boy savior complex, or who knows what it is, but like something kicked in, and I think it might have been like turning 30, and I was just like, I should probably stop being such an edgelord and just like try. Yeah, do something helpful.
I love that. Like as soon as people turn 30, they're like, you know what the world needs? A video about what I wish I knew in my 20s. That's what every guy. I mean, I'll do it. 3 years. I'm writing mine already. I don't probably know what it's going to be.
Going,
Yeah, it's going to happen. Like you wait. I'll do that.
Lewis looks 40, but he's just getting ready.
Yeah, I look 40. I'm just from Melbourne.
Yeah. You're like one of those dads that gets real into marathons later in life.
Absolutely not, dude. If you saw me run, you'd go, no, that's dangerous for your health.
That is going to be 100% me, by the way.
That'll be Luke.
That's going to be your brand. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it already is. I'm wearing my own merch, which is called The Well Gym.
Sick.
I'm already started a fitness revolution, and all it needs now is me just running continuously for 5 hours.
Yeah. Have you gotten into some strange fitness habit since all of this stuff happening? I feel like health has been talked about so much more, like mental health and physical health, and everyone's just picked up no one's gone gym. Not many people have gone gym. A lot of people have gone strange. Like I've gone swimming. That's my thing, and I was never really into that.
I definitely like running. Like I really like middle distance running.
Yeah.
I went bouldering for a while because I live in the inner west, and that includes slacklining because I don't know, after a while when you hit a percentage coverage of tattoos on your body, you have to learn how to slackline. It's canon.
Yeah,
It's the rule.
And I can tell that you got way too into it because you didn't call it rock climbing. You're like bouldering, bro. I went bouldering and slacklining. Rock climbing, that shit's for amateurs.
Oh yeah, bro. What year is it? 2011. Yeah, no ropes on this bitch.
Yeah, so look, one of the things like I really wanted to bring up with you, and it was the most shocking thing I've ever heard in a video, right? I think it was, I don't know, must have been on one of your recent ones. You were talking about screen time and about how, you know, how internet, it was your video on internet, how it kills creativity. And it was, I thought you raised a lot of good points, and I was really interested in that because I often feel the same thing. Lewis and I talk about this stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Where it's like, dude, it makes me dumber. Like I sit there on my phone, I come out on the other side a moron, right? Because as soon as you go on Twitter, you lose brain cells.
Bro, I get so angry so quick. I'm like, well, fuck you, and you, you know?
Yeah, it's not good for your mental health,
It
right?
switches your brain off. You know, you can really see it happen when you see, like, you know, like an iPad toddler. Like, you look at an iPad toddler and you go, oh, these things are designed to hack into our brains. Look it's not even doing anything. And then you kind of need to realize that that's also you. Like, you're not that different.
Yeah.
You can just speak and read the words.
Yeah, I was watching,
So
like, there was
freaking
this little girl, like, near me on the plane playing this thing the whole, like, 2.5 hour plane ride yesterday. And I just thought the same thing. I was like, oh, poisoning the youth minds. And then
Mate, I have literally watched you do that.
I was doing the same thing. I was next to her playing some stupid car racing game. Anyway, you raised this really good point where you said, I don't know, for some reason I've never even thought about this before, and it's all it is maths, but it still blew my mind.
Well, that's why I've never thought about
it. It's because you said if you spend 4 hours a day on your phone, if you have an 84, say if your lifespan goes for 84 years, that's 14 years of your life is spent on a screen.
It's cooked, right? Yeah, I literally have that exact printout on my wall right there. And then I even then you like can even subtract sleep from your life. So sleep's a third.
That's fun. I'm happy to be unconscious for a lot of it.
So am I. Honestly,
sleeping's fun.
Early death, like every single night.
That freaks me out because I just checked my screen time and I've got a solid 7 hours here. I mean, I am in lockdown, but, you know, I don't
30
think
years, dude.
That's 30 years. So, you know, really, if we think about it, my life's pretty much over now, you know?
Well, then you can make that when you turn 30 video pretty easy. But when your screen time turns 30, things that you wish you knew.
Yeah.
It's all right, Lewis. We already know you're not going to live to 84, so you don't have to worry about it.
Okay, look, bro. Luke has this fucking thing reminding me all the time that tall people die earlier.
Do they?
Well,
is it
yeah.
an accident-prone thing, or is it like a actual health thing?
I think it's because we just have more body to run,
You can't
so we spend more
pump
energy.
blood around that big thing forever.
No, you really can't.
That's what she said.
You know what else she said? R.I.P. Lewis.
Yeah, I miss him. 10
years'
more
time.
years without him.
Yeah.
No,
I think I'm going to balance it out though, because I don't drink or do drugs. So I reckon I'm going to average it out. I'm going to hit the average lifespan.
Nice. Yeah, and your skin will age normally as well. So that's yeah, perfect. You can compare.
Yeah, but that thing about the screen time made me sad. Have you changed things about your life since learning that?
I mean, like, the hard part about trying to change right now is lockdown, definitely.
Yeah.
Like, my screen time, and that's probably why it's on my mind and probably why I made that video, because, like, I'm watching it just increase, and I'm watching myself just, like, get less and less motivated and just, like, sit in the couch more and just be like pacifying my brain. But I'm trying this week to get it down. So, like, on Sunday, I just turned off my phone completely, which is something I almost never do. And that was, I don't know, do you guys ever do that?
I do that a lot.
Liberating.
It's the only way. Honestly, I don't think we're smart enough, to be honest, to beat the phone. And
Straight
I think
up.
that you have to, like, when I go to bed, I think the reason why when I was in Melbourne, I would charge my phone in a different room when I went to bed.
Smart.
And that was the only way I could not use it, because otherwise I would scroll until I fell asleep, and then I would wake up and I would scroll for like an hour before I got out of bed. I think the reason why my screen time's so big here is because my phone is right next to my bed. So I actually realized that this morning. I spent an hour on it. I'm like, what am I doing? I got to get ready for this. So I'm going to move it. And I think the only way, I don't think you can beat the phone. So you got to put it out of arm's reach.
So true, man.
Lewis is actually, out of most people I've met, very guilty. Like, you are honestly sometimes glued to your phone. Like, even at the like Luke and Lewis place, I would say, like, when we usually do our podcast at the warehouse, Lewis is by far the one that has the biggest problem. Like,
everything's in arm's reach. That's the problem.
Sometimes I click. Sometimes I have to click between his eye line and the phone. I just put my thumb in his face and go, "Oi," and he's like, "What?"
Yeah,
it's the only way to snap him out of it.
That's
I'm
crazy.
bad. I'm working on it. I've been
Twitter,
getting a lot
dude.
better. But,
Is it Twitter?
See, I don't use
have
Twitter.
Yeah, neither. It looks scary.
It is scary. I use it for content.
Yeah, you dive into all those like hot topic kind of culture wars stuff. I'm terrified of that shit. I used to not be scared, but then I got scared.
Yeah, it's not. Look, it's definitely toxic. Is what I think it is.
I'm
I've
not
started
scared,
kind of moving away from it a bit.
I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
like, I think
smart.
it's hilarious when this
That's
is like
Luke's superpower. Is he just can't care about this shit at all?
I can't care
We're
about
like a
anything.
spectrum. This is good. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, you're right in the middle of us, which is where I should be. Like, but I'm the point where, like, there's been moments on the show, like, where I just haven't even known about, like, a major world conflict that's happening. Like, I think I found out about Afghanistan, like, after it had happened.
Yeah, he's talking about the country.
Like, the Taliban had already seized it. And then I found out about it. I didn't find out about it as it was happening.
Holy
like, I'm
shit.
sure it was all over Twitter when it was maybe in the process. Or did it happen overnight? Or it literally did happen overnight.
It was probably 20 years in the making. Yeah.
Sure.
There you go.
No. Actually, yeah. Have you ever heard 9/11? I just think that
Hey, we're coming up to the 20th anniversary. That's next week. Oh, that's in like 4 days. Yeah, shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lewis and Keelan get stuck in this wormhole, and it's so funny, right? So I do this thing where I'm like, they go, "Oh, we have to talk about this on the show. Like, everyone's talking about it. It's the big news." And I quickly put it in my group chat of normal people friends, right? And they guys just have jobs. Like, they're from some are into sports, some into music. They're just all into different stuff, right? I go, "Hey, has anyone heard about this?" Always 100% of the time, no. What's that? Who's that?
Dude.
And it's because they're not stuck in this echo chamber, and it convinces Lewis and Keelan that what they're reading, everyone's talking about.
It is true. Twitter is not real life. Like, I read a real interesting stat. It was, I can't remember the exact figures, but it was something along the lines of 3% of Twitter users contribute like 70% of the tweets.
It's
like,
bonkers.
They might not be the exact numbers, but it's along the lines of that. Like, the tiny minority contribute to the giant majority of content. And so that's why, people will get cancelled by companies or whatever for something that may not matter. Like, there's been some just cancellations, but sometimes people get in trouble for something that seems silly when you're in the real world, but then you go on Twitter and you're like, oh my God, how could they have done this? Everyone's up in arms, but they're not. It's just like a few thousand people.
Yeah, and they combine it with some sort of like pseudo-intellectual language, and then boom, you're gone.
Yeah, there you go.
Crazy shit. Yeah, it is quite literally a vocal minority. Like, there's no other way to describe it. It's crazy.
Yeah, they prove the vocal minority with science.
Literally. Babe, wake up! New vocal minority just dropped.
So, Cam, you've obviously you're publishing a book, and you wrote this and you illustrated it.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's some manga shit.
Yeah. Well, I think like graphic novel is probably my favorite genre of book.
Yeah, me too.
It's definitely the book like types that have consumed loved the most. And so I'll show you on screen actually. Yeah, so this is it. I'm super proud. Comes out in like 3 weeks. But yeah, you can sort of see like there's a nice
So what's it called?
combination. Oh, it's called Your Head is a Houseboat, a chaotic guide to mental clarity. And the whole thing is basically just a big kind of bizarre and imaginative journey into the center of your brain told through like metaphor.
That's cool.
Thanks, man. But yeah, it's kind of cool. You can sort of see like the combination of art and words just all kind of like dancing around.
No, I love that. I think that's really cool. I think also it's super accessible because a lot of people really struggle to read. Like, you know,
me too. Yeah.
People feel stupid for doing it, but I'm an avid reader, but I only got there because I started with like comic books. And
Dude,
I think you need to learn to read, like actually. Like you learn to read, but then you need to learn to how to consume like a fucking novel. It takes a long time to be able to sit down and go through a book.
I look at like my fiance, and she can just read anything. She can pick up a book, and in like 5 days it's done. And I'm like, what? That like after half a year, I'm like, I have started 3 books and I've gotten 8 pages through all of them, and I don't know, like it's just. But you're so right about graphic novels. Like that is exactly how I trained myself to read more. So. Yeah,
and I think that using phones makes it harder to read because it lessens your attention span. I actually notice, like as someone who loves reading, when I use my phone heaps, if I'm working a lot, I'm using my phone a lot, I can't read for longer periods of time. Like I remember I got to a point where I was reading 1 book a week, and then I was reading 1 book a week. And then I got really busy, started using my phone a lot, and then I started going down to like now I can do maybe 1 a month, probably even less than that. And I think it's phones because it just makes your brain go, nah, reward.
Right. I totally get that. Well, it's like working on projects as well. When you work on something where you don't have to post, or you don't get to post it for like a year, and you're like there's something in you that gets to the end of whatever that day. Like you would have found this with Death Threats Don't Scare Me or something, where you get to the end of the day of working on it and you'll be like, and nothing. There is no reward. I am just slightly closer to the end of the goal.
Yeah. And then even like a giant project like that took months, that was like my life. And then the end of it, you have like a fucking amazing day. And then after it, when the project is done, you're like, oh, what's now what am I doing with my life? What's going on now? I guess I'll make a YouTube video? Oh.
Yeah, right?
That feeling is like the most shallow feeling in the world. It's the never-ending pit of just like every creative is like you get to one goal and then you're like, huh. It sounds so... It makes you seem like an asshole though, because other people would love to achieve what you have, and then you get to there and you're like, all right, well, I worked really hard, so I guess I did that.
I read a really interesting thing about like creative motivation that I think that Luke and I have done accidentally, or like we've just worked out by trying and failing. And I think that what I read was your level of creative effort needs to be slightly less than the reward that you get from putting it out, because otherwise, if your effort is here, and
is that why all your videos suck?
Oh yeah.
No, but it's why that I started making them less good, because I would put so much effort into it and I would kill myself over it, and then it would come out and I would dread starting the next one because it was so difficult to get done.
I watched 2 of your videos last night. So last night I just binged YouTube because I haven't had time to watch it in 2.5 weeks because I've been touring, right? So I just haven't been on the internet. I realized I hadn't looked at my subscriptions in about 3 weeks, which is probably a good thing. So it means I went through and watched the shit I actually wanted to watch, because I was like, don't have time for all these. I'll watch my few. So I watched a couple of your ones because I wonder what Lewis has been doing in Tasmania. And they were good. Like, they were funny. I was laughing and I could not even notice a quality difference at all. It's just... Oh, Lewis is talking about something again.
Yes.
Isn't that what all your videos were anyway?
Well, yeah. Like that's what I realize is like you need to make the level of effort low enough that you can do it consistently, which makes you better without burning yourself out. Because the reality of it is no one actually gives a fuck other than you. Like I reckon you can get your audience to care about 1, maybe 2 big things: Cam's book, our shows, my comedy specials, stuff like that. 1 or 2 big things a year. Other than that, they just want to be entertained, and that's all you can really expect from them. You know, that's what we're there for, is just go, hey, I'm going to entertain you for 10 minutes. They got 10 minutes. That's not the end of the world. So you stressing over it heaps and going, fuck, doesn't really help anyone.
No.
That's so true. Yeah, because I'm blown away by your output, Lewis. Like, just having seen you over the years do things like where, like, I feel like from me watching you, it's like something will happen and then you'll be like, okay, I'll chase this for a while. Like the real talks, like when you're like, this is what I'm chasing for a while. And then you'll like, you know, jump back on YouTube and you're like, I'm pumping this for a while. Or then like you'll get back on your show and you're like, I'm pumping this for a while. And I'm like, so fascinating from like I guess, somebody who's doing something similar to watch you, who is quite explicit in having strategy.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, particularly in Australia, I think people are like, there's a bit of a taboo on like wanting success or wanting fame or wanting.
I think that's pathetic. I don't want fame.
No.
That's not my goal. But I think fame comes with
Neither,
this,
for the record.
obviously.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think that I wouldn't turn my nose up at it, obviously, because that's just a signifier of success. But I think that's a big problem with Australian culture, is that like trying and going, I want to achieve that, is almost looked down upon by other people, which I think is really weird. Like, I think that's what's a cool thing about it.
syndrome.
Yeah.
You can't achieve anything in this country. Everyone's like, oh, you're trying to follow your dreams. Fuck you.
You see it all the time. Like, when I went to America, that was probably quite a big culture shock, where I would just hear dreams all the time and people go, that's cool, I want to do this. You never, ever hear that here.
Yeah, I feel like the culture is slightly changing because like the internet celebrates it, and now we're spending more time on the internet than we are in our
I think
country.
our culture's slowly becoming more American, because that's where culture, like,
with the good
is
and the
coming
bad
from.
Yeah,
you know? Yeah, good and bad. You know, you've got the oh, you can do it mentality, and then you've got the hey, let's take horse medicine. You know, you got to take the good and the bad.
So many people, like, I've seen all those like sovereign letters coming out, and they literally start with "We the people," and I'm like, "You're Australian." That's like literally the American Constitution. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, gotta love like dumb people trying on Loyally Talk.
Yeah, they've definitely just watched like a bunch of like American legalese, which would work there, but like you might as well be speaking a different language. Like, that's not the rules we have.
I object. Yeah.
Campbell, one thing I wanted to know is how long do your videos take? Because you put little animations in them and stuff, and I assume you do that all yourself, right? So it's like there's two parts. There's editing the normal video, and then going over and adding little animations. Is that days?
Well, I definitely, like, unknowingly, I guess I do what Lewis just talked about, which is like a shittier version of my animation style, like way shittier. Like, it's all like stick figures and, you know, basic digital stuff. But yeah, I guess like usually they might take 3 days, I would say. Yeah, but they're like 3 quite full days.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes longer. Yeah, but that's probably what they average to.
Crazy for like a YouTube video. Like, I was watching them going, oh, this must take forever. This is so good. Really high quality.
Oh, thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Yeah,
it's so cool.
How long do you guys take to edit
Well,
stuff?
I have downstairs, I got 2 people that are working for me. So I would say that maybe they take 2 days, but condensed into one, because 2 people are working on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's the only reason why I've managed to create so much stuff, is because I'm like, all right, well, the task I've set for just myself is impossible, so I need help.
I think like I do, like, say if I do videos where like review The Bachelor, we might have like 2 hours of footage by the end of it, and then I condense that down to like 10 to 15 minutes, and that probably takes me like 2.5 days, and that's full days, like 2 10-hour days, and then thumbnail upload. The process takes a long time. People don't realize once you finish the video, you haven't finished the video, because then you have to make a thumbnail, post it, promote it, and then if you really want to have it go well, you got to clip it up and put some of it on TikTok and Instagram. And really, the video is half the work.
It really is. Yeah.
TikTok is like short clips is becoming its own job. Like, literally at Luke and Lewis, we have a guy, his only job is to make short clips. Like, that's his whole job. And it's
how many people do you guys have in your ecosystem?
Between the 2 of us,
there's 3 or 2, and then
there's like 5.
Wow.
Probably.
5, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Nice. That's sick.
It's really cool. Like, I think it's, you know what's really cool is being able to give someone like a cool, good, fulfilling job. I hope, anyway.
Totally. Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Because I've had
job,
terrible jobs, you know,
same.
and I always hated them, and I always wanted something cool. So it's, you know, like to, you know, give that to someone else. I hope.
No, totally.
I think the only reason why like we have to get other people to do it for us is because like I've been, you know, doing shows. I did 7 shows this week of my own hour since Thursday. Thursday to Sunday, I did 7 shows. So we have like no time to do other shit. I was just exhausted all weekend.
I think like stand-up is being stand-up and being a YouTuber is actually 2 completely separate jobs. Like, there's some crossover in terms of being funny. But that's kind of it. It's like everything else is completely different skill sets and the amount of effort you need to put in. So I think that if I was just a YouTuber, I could probably do a lot of the stuff myself. But I'm stand up first and foremost. Do you kind of view yourself as something before all of the other shit that you do? Because that's an interesting thing about being a creative, is whether you're a musician or a fucking even like a Olympic athlete, you also have to be a social media influencer now. So
Totally.
What do you see yourself as? And then all the other stuff just feeds
First and
that.
foremost, probably illustrator.
Yeah.
First and foremost, like I feel like a cartoonist.
Yeah.
And then everything else, like, I mean, I literally started making videos because I had this idea which I tried to draw into a comic. I'm like, oh, there are too many moving parts. And so I turned on the camera and just explained it with like images popping up. And I was like, that was cool. And then I just kind of kept doing that. So like, that's where it all came from. But yeah, I'd say illustrator first. And then everything else has just kind of stemmed from there. Like, I guess animation stems from there pretty like obviously. And then, I guess like YouTubing and talking. And then after I met Bryce and he's just like, we started talking, I was like, oh, maybe I do like the sound of my own voice. Like
Who doesn't? Who doesn't? You know, you got one podcast now. Soon you'll be like us. You'll have two.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, you guys do. Because you got Memoirs of a White Guy?
Yeah, that's what it used to be called. I'm actually going to stop doing that soon, and I'm going to start doing one with my girlfriend. So still doing two,
sick.
But I feel like it needed a little bit of a different angle. I think that's actually a scoop. I don't think I've announced that on my actual podcast yet.
Oh, soft launch, baby.
Soft launch. I'm going to be stopping doing it. It's called the Luke Kidgel Hour. It's exactly the same. You know why I changed it? It was two reasons. One, it's good to have your name in the title.
Smart.
Memoirs of White Guys, like, what's that? And two, it didn't age very well last year.
Not very good. It's very tough to post about, hey, come check out an hour of what a white guy thinks while everyone else is posting about Black Lives Matter.
Oh my God.
It started out as like a joke of like, I'm basic and I'm like Mr. Brightside. Heaven's fairy bread. You.
Yeah.
I thought it was clever as fuck. I remember reading that title just like as it came up on like iTunes and shit. I'm like, fuck, I wish I thought of that.
It's
That's
very
what we
self-aware.
thought when it was come up with ages ago. Both Luke and I were like, that's great. That's going to age really well.
It is a good title because at the
milk.
time it was like this joke about being self-aware that not everyone wants to hear what you have to say, but fuck it, I'm going to... Because the whole point was I don't talk about issues. Like I was just talking about like, you know, fat birds and like shit I saw during the week.
Yeah, that's clever. Yeah.
But yeah, now I'm going to do one with my girlfriend Meg, who we do videos online together. And Meg,
cool.
Meg,
I'm so confused.
you're
Meg?
just going to say Meg.
Oh,
Yeah,
Meg.
great.
That was so weird. Man, like, you know those memories that are just going to stick out as times when you were just supremely confused? Like, that was a top 10 right there.
That is the dumbest in-joke of our show that's never been explained.
You know what
there is no
happens-
explanation.
all the time at shows. Like Meg will go and she'll go put out she'll go put out my water bottle on stage sometimes, and the whole crowd is just like Meg.
That's so
seagulls.
stupid.
And she sells my merch after the show, and people like walk up to her and go, "Hey Meg, can I get a?"
That's so
It's insane.
That's so good.
And then she does it back to them. It's very confusing.
Very strange. And some people are like, what's that joke about? And there is literally nothing to get.
Like often,
yes. Yeah, I
like
love
pretty
that.
much all of our jokes. There's zero substance to it, but it's a bit of fun.
Yeah.
What you see is what you get, kids.
But yeah, I'm going to do a podcast with Megan. I feel like that it just is better because there's more of a couple angle. There's also more of a reason to listen. Like this is like, you know, us as mates doing a podcast together, which is like a good appeal. But sometimes I just repeat stories on my podcast that I've already told Lewis on here or vice versa. So I was like, I think I'd talk about different things with my girlfriend than I would with Lewis. So I think
Totally.
that makes me more excited to do it anyway.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. And then what's your other pod, Lewis?
I'm actually also starting a podcast with Luke's girlfriend.
Meg.
No, mine's just a solo one, and that's where I scream all the poison that fills my brain from Twitter out into the world and make
fantastic.
it worse.
Nice.
No, it's just I genuinely enjoyed doing it by myself.
You should update your bio of your podcast to that.
To that, yeah.
Screaming
Spilling the
Twitter
poison from my brain into yours. No, it's just I just like ranting. Like I was a big fan of Bill Burr's podcast, and that kind of inspired me to just start a solo one way back when, before there was many people doing podcasts at all here. And I just like yelling about all of the politics and the news and the trending social media bullshit that is like a guilty pleasure, and I get to yell about it and say all of the fuck things that'll get me cancelled in 10 years. That's really what it is. It's if you call it Memoirs of a White Guy Didn't Age Well, wait till you hear episode 100 and something of Spearhead Sundays.
And what's your one with Bryce called?
God is dead.
Great.
I wish I'd have thought of that. That's
Another name which gets us in trouble. Yeah, but yeah, it's basically it's about like all the fucked internet content that you can find, and whether or not it proves whether God has abandoned humanity and led us to rot or not. So yeah, that's the format. Constantly questioning. Yeah.
Are there any highlights of things that you've found that you've talked about there?
Yeah, there was this furry. You guys might have seen this, but there was a furry who wanted to completely transition to their fursona, but to cut off their hands and make paws, that's elective surgery.
I've seen this.
Yeah. So instead what they did is fake an accident where they got their hands in dry ice. So then it had to be an emergency subsidized surgery.
Yeah.
And then they got their hands cut off. And they're like, welp, I guess it happened. Oopsie. And using all this baby talk to announce that they now have no hands. I'm like, that's fucked up.
And what did you conclude? That God is well and truly deceased?
God is so fucking dead.
That's fucking crazy. Yeah. So you know what? That happened so long ago. I remember reading about that years ago, I think. I wonder what he's doing right now. What do you think he's doing at this very moment?
And that's like the bleeding question. It's like, dude, you don't get your hands back. That's a one-way process.
Yeah.
He's not growing them back.
It's not like
he's probably doing right now, like reaching for something, and then he's got paws, so he's like, oh, shit. That's probably what he's doing.
Yeah. Trying
just
to dial
shit.
his mum to be like, it was just a phase, but he can't hit the fucking buttons.
Yeah.
There's a
what?
guy on
All Time
YouTube
Low was a phase for me, right? And I'm still in it. Actually, never mind. That's a bad point.
There is a guy on YouTube that tells all of these like terrible internet stories. That's a channel that I really love. He's called Justin Wang, and he just his channel is just tales from the internet. And if you just go on his channel and just look at some of the titles, you don't even need to watch the video. You go, yeah, God's left a long time ago.
Yeah, God has left the chat, baby. Yeah.
Boys. And girls, but for your boyfriends, I mean, it's called Manscaped, so you know.
Men.
Men. Do you have disheveled balls? Probably in lockdown.
Yeah.
Fix it, and we can help you. Manscaped.com.au. Get the Lawnmower 4.0. It's just good. That's it. It's good. Get it. Buy. Purchase.
Manscaped.com/soundoff. Use the link.
Yes, if you use our code SOUNDOFF, you get 20% off and free shipping. We would highly recommend the shaver. It is really good. We both use it. Lewis could probably maybe be using it on his face.
I've been thinking about that, but I'm really enjoying the disheveled look at the moment. I think I am actually going to use the old beard trimmer at some point, but I'm saving it up for a special occasion. When I get out, day one, I'm gonna make myself look nice. Right now, I'm looking like a cave goblin, but Manscaped.com is disregard the face. The nuts look great.
Yeah, but if your nuts are starting to look like Lewis, then maybe time to use the code. You know, some people probably heard us talk about this for months now, being like, maybe.
It's time.
Look at the screen, look at your ball sack, and if it even slightly resembles Lewis's face.
Isn't good. It's not what you want.
It's out.
Manscaped.com/soundoff.
They support the podcast, so support the brands that support us. And cheers to Manscaped. And thanks to everyone who's got it. And a lot of good feedback. People have got it in the Discord. They really like it, which is good.
Yes. Great. Manscaped.com/soundoff. Claim your
Bye.
Oh, God, we need a lull horn. We just hit a natural lull. Hang on. I don't have a horn here.
You got a lull horn.
We usually have a lull horn.
That's cool.
where we hit a natural lull. It kind of resets the energy, but now we're just stuck in the lull.
Damn, gotta chuck in an ad for NordVPN.
Yeah. All right, time for an ad break. Oh, thank God.
Oh, there we go. We got a horn.
Do you have the horn with you?
Of course I packed the horn. What if there was a lull?
Oh, good. Can you please reset the energy?
Yeah.
Great.
Well, it sounds a little bit sick, this lull horn at the moment. I don't know what happened. It didn't travel well. It's a bit sick.
It sounds like it's Tasmanian now.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, you know what that said? That said, oh, when his sister bent over.
Tasmanian gear for days, baby.
Now, I believe you're pitching a pilot. Is this correct?
Oh, yeah. So that's what we're doing at the moment. Yeah, on the pitch circuit, which is kind of, I don't know, it's weird. Like, have you guys made TV shows?
Yeah, well, I've made a pilot. I
Lewis
made Spears vs. America and pitched that around a little bit.
That.
Yeah.
Well, that's more or less where we're at. So, like, we've sort of lined up, I guess, the various, interested parties, and we've got, like, the sort of distributor who's seen it, and he's given us the green light. But, yeah, it's pretty much an animated show about a magical alien space camel who comes to Earth to try fit in. Yeah.
You said that like it was pretty run of the mill. You were like, the shows when there's
all the various formats that we've all come to know and love. Yeah, no, it's a bit hard to always describe something without any like visual material or without like the actual content to back me up. But yeah, it's kind of like a high school comedy, but the central character happens to be from outer space and is trying to understand Earth. But the only way that he's learnt about Earth is by watching Earth TV. So all his
That's cool.
lessons, like he tries to equate to like after school specials, and all the TV he's seen is quite dated as well. So it's him kind of making sense of the world through old media, but now the world's kind of changed and he's just has this.
It's
kind
like
of identity
Australians
crisis.
trying to make sense of American culture just through How I Met Your Mother. I was like, this is what it's like to live in New York. And then I got to New York and I was like, oh, this isn't.
I'm not hearing any laughter. What's going on?
Yeah. Why isn't anyone singing?
That's a very cool concept. And obviously, it's an animation. And do you do a voice in it?
Yeah, I play the school bully and also this conservative Christian Kiwi kid.
So you didn't cast yourself as the main?
No. My friend Dante plays the main character.
Yeah, cool.
And I don't know, he's got like this rich, beautiful Brooklyn accent. And so it sounds like the kind of voice that you might pick up if you'd watched enough TV.
Right. That's smart.
So,
okay, that's good.
So it was that kind of thinking. But yeah, we've got quite a couple of like really fun voice actors in there. Briggs is a voice. He plays a couple of characters. Ruby Fields is one of the mains. Who else? Nat's what I reckon. He plays this kind of janitor character who's like this creepy old dude. He kind of talks like this. He's got one of those voices.
That's sick.
The whistle voices.
Yeah. One of those.
So what's your moonshot for this? Like, where do you want to see it end up?
Oh, I think everybody wants to see their shit on Netflix.
Of course.
On the top 10, number one, baby. Anything less and I will cry.
Yeah.
But oh man, like first time trying something like this. Like I will take what I can get.
Well,
like,
that's what you got to do,
Yeah.
Like I was like, man, I'm going to get my comedy special on Netflix, and it's in JB Hi-Fi, so I'll take it.
Congrats.
That's what I did. I was like, I'm going to get it on Netflix, guys. It's on Amazon Prime.
Dude, but that's great. Like,
That's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Yeah.
I mean, it's no JB Hi-Fi, but
No,
Yeah.
that's true. I should have tried to one-up you and tried to get an Insanity in Gimpy or something like that.
I did see it in
I went
Insanity
past
once.
Insanity the other day in regional Queensland. Rockhampton, maybe? One of those.
That's so
It was like
funny.
Rockhampton or Bundaberg. I saw a Sanity and I stopped. I was
Yeah.
walking along and I went, holy shit.
I'm
and then
so
I just
sorry
kept...
to do this. Sorry. Hang on. I really do
All
want to
good.
hear that story. Sorry, I just got to...
Oh, wait. Is he getting something from Sanity? Oh, no. It's just... Have you been, mate? How's Tasmania?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not allowed to leave my house. I got no idea what it's like.
What's this?
Sorry, you
Luke
left. He blew the lull horn, and then I said, "How's Tasmania?" And he said, "I don't know. I think you had a breakdown." Anyway, it's good you're back.
Okay, hang on. So you're in Rockhampton and you see this fossil of a store.
That's
Yeah.
it. That was the story. I
that's
concluded
gorgeous.
the story. I was mesmerized. I thought it was like I was seeing an illusion. You know, like when you're out in the
yeah.
desert. What's it called?
Mitsubishi Mirage.
Mirage. That's it. Great. I should read more, guys. Anyway.
That's all those graphic novels we've been reading.
Yeah. Yeah, the translucent pages in between the desert graphics.
I actually do want to read more because I want to be more intelligent. Literally. I've realized sometimes when I'm on stage and I miss out on great opportunities for crowd work because I actually just don't fully understand what the person is talking about. And it's happened a lot of times on this tour. Like, I felt like an idiot. Someone was like, I was talking about cum because that's mainly what my show is about.
Yeah.
And
Hot topic.
someone was like, what about test tube babies? Now, I didn't realize that was IBF. I thought that was a different thing.
Like
so I
they're
was
literally
like,
grown in
test tube
test
babies.
tubes.
I was like, what? I've never really heard anyone say that before.
It was kind of popular in the 90s, I guess, that term.
Yeah, so I was just lost for like a minute. The whole crowd
Did
was
you
just
say
laughing
IBF?
at me.
He did.
Is it VF?
Yes.
But that's the
In
thing.
vitro.
I swear to God that the person in the crowd said BF. I mean, I was in Brisbane. I don't know. They probably don't know either.
Yeah.
In Brizzy fertilization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I had no idea what was, and I just like had to let the bit die. And I was like thinking afterwards, I was like, man, I need to like read a book, huh?
Yeah, but you have to be smart about what type of book you read because the type of books I've been reading are like science fiction books based 40,000 years in the future. So if
doesn't help
someone said,
anyone.
yeah, no, if someone said test tube baby, I'll be like, oh, like how most of the human race functions now? Of course. You know?
You mean how I get my food?
That's true. I don't know. I just feel like some things, I'm like, even some professions, I don't know. Like
Oh,
sometimes
dude,
I'm
the
like, what do
worst
you
one.
do? And then they say a thing and I'm like, I've never heard of that before.
That's the worst. You know the worst one I ever did? And this is just fucking dumb. This is one of those things, you know when you actually know something, but in the moment it's just not in your brain?
Oh,
I
yes.
go, what do you do for work? And he goes, landscaper. And I literally couldn't think of what a landscaper is, like in the moment. I know what that is. It's a guy that works outside in the dirt.
No, but
Like it's a simple job.
They scape the land, bro.
Yeah, that's
clue
that's
is
what
in
I
the
said
words.
in the moment, but I didn't know what the fuck that was. I stupidly was going, oh, so it's kind of like an architect for outside, which is technically true.
That feels
You're
like
not
a
wrong,
nice way
but
to
you're
say
just
it.
also not right.
Yeah,
I don't know. It could be a poetic way of being right.
yeah, and I'm an
Yes.
architect of the land.
Yes. I conduct the grass.
That's good.
Do you ever have like when people like you go, oh, what are you studying? And they say a degree and you don't know what the words mean?
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, I'm doing like biomedical engineering. And you're like, what is that? Like
What
under
is
a
that
microscope?
though? What the fuck
What are
is
you doing on
biomedical
Tuesday?
engineering?
Yeah, at your degree.
Yeah,
Just
and I go,
run me
what is
through a
that? And they
day.
go, well, it's kind of like, and then they just get lost in this explanation, and half the crowd's like, oh, Luke's an idiot, and half the crowd's like, I'm not going to say anything because I also don't know what that is.
We are also publishing memoirs of a white guy.
Nah, look, if you can't explain the degree that you're studying in a sentence, that's your fault.
Yeah. I prefer when somebody goes law. I'm like, oh, yeah, I've heard of
yes. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
follow
We
them.
the
I
people.
follow those.
that. Yeah. No, it's insane. Anyway, I need to read. So what were we talking about before? I'm not sure.
We went
Oh,
sanity.
your pilot.
Oh, yeah. That was pretty much, ended as...
You wrapped it up.
I think we wrapped that one up. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
good luck. One thing I did want to ask is,
Thanks.
how long have you been doing it for? Like, when did you start drawing or illustrating?
Oh, yeah. Probably about 5 years ago. So
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're good.
Weird, thanks, dude. No, it's weirdly recent. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I like doodling and stuff, but like, as like
That makes
I
me
think
upset.
most kids do. Oh no.
Only 5 years ago. That's cool, man.
Yeah. Well, like, yeah. I think I'd always like enjoyed being creative, but I was really more like, I don't know. I guess I liked music at first.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess
Like, were you playing in bands
Yeah.
and stuff?
yeah, playing in bands. That sort
That
of stuff.
tracks.
Yeah.
I look
Yeah,
at you.
Tracks. Mm.
I look at guys
Yeah.
in bands.
You look at the beanie.
You've played in bands.
This guy's played
What
in
type of
bands.
music?
Lots of stuff, like kind of, I guess, folk punk sort of
Yeah.
stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. There are no surprises.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Try and wow us because currently you are just backing up that beanie.
Yeah, I really am. And I live in Newtown.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm also vegan, dudes. No. Yeah, so I played in bands for a while, and then I don't know. I guess I kind of like just a series of like
That's
jobs
cool.
that went nowhere, some jobs that went somewhere, and then eventually I think I decided that I would like to do tattooing. Sorry.
Oh, that's right.
Man, 3 blasts an episode. I thought this episode was going well, but the horn seems to disagree.
I mean, it's only been one natural horn. 2 have been to fill a lull. Campbell leaving. Didn't actually tell us why he left last time. Keeps walking out.
Suspicious. Maybe he's got band practice in the other room.
Potentially.
Yeah.
What was this?
We're just theorizing what you're doing.
Oh yeah. Someone's got to make money. No.
Lewis said, "Were you doing band practice in the other room?"
Just pulling out my French horn, making some nice old school punk. No, because we sell merch, so the couriers come to the door.
Oh yeah,
and then because we use like a bunch of different couriers depending if people live in like overseas or here or you guys know it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You know, I actually got a bunch of Luke's merch delivered to here for a couple hours ago. Yeah,
he's like, your merch came. I was like, what?
Dude, that is. It's such an inconvenience. We have such a tiny house and these massive boxes of like some other guy's merch have arrived. I'm like, great, I guess I'll put them somewhere.
You merch cocked yourself, bro.
That's awesome. Well, those people in Tassie better cop that shit. All right. Otherwise, we're going to have it stuck in our place. Oh, yeah. So one thing I was leading to is I think so when did you start posting your stuff on the internet?
Yeah, pretty
5
much
years ago.
5 years ago.
Pretty much when you started.
Yeah. Well, I think I drew like an ibis on the back of like, I was at the pub. It was like, the doggies paper. And then I just drew it and then snapped a photo and I was like, oh, this is sick. And then I just like chucked it up online and then pretty much just went from there.
That's awesome. Yeah. One thing I think I realized is I have seen your work like over and like reposted over and over again on Twitter and stuff. Like your stuff, how have you dealt with that over the years? Like your stuff has got stolen and reposted because they're essentially like original memes, right?
Thanks.
And people treat them like it's not art.
It is like
it annoys me. Like
It pisses me off, yeah.
Luke and I will get annoyed, but at the end of the day, if someone steals our video, it's got our face in it. So like the more successful you become, the more people will comment, this is from this guy. And so stealing your shit went from bad to almost positive because we were big enough that fans would direct people where to find us. With an image, your face isn't in it. It seems a lot more like
how have you dealt with that?
Well,
over
sometimes,
the years.
Yeah, I think at first I was like, I found it funny because like I wasn't, I had a job and stuff. I wasn't really going for career fame. I'm like, oh, cool, it's over here now. And that's kind of sick. And then after a while, I guess people started like picking up on, my like illustration style. So then they could tag back. But the one that really pisses me off is if I've got something and I've drawn it, and let's say it's like a graph or like a flowchart or something, and then somebody recreates it, so now it doesn't have any of my style, but it's all my jokes.
The
and
joke.
I'm like, you've made it uglier, and now you've made it unrecognizably mine. Fuck you. I fucking hate this. And then
that's
like
the worst.
I always had these like handbrakes on whether or not I should like watermark my stuff because I'm like, I guess when I started posting, I thought it was like arrogant, which is weird. I was like,
that's that Australian culture, man.
Literally, dude. Literally, it's so cooked.
Yeah.
And I'm so sorry. Far out. Look at me. And because I'm like, people, it's like, putting an exclamation point at the end of your joke. I'm like, it's like, hey guys, laugh with me. This is great. This is worth sharing. And if it gets stolen, everyone will know because it's worth stealing, just all these like shit that played in my head. But I don't know.
It's not the case at all.
No, it's not.
It's like brand identity. It's just helping people find more of your stuff. That's all that I see it as is like, if you want to create more stuff and you want people to see it, you got to tell people that you made it and that it's good. Like you see so many people in every industry release something and then trash talk it. And it's like, if you don't think it's good, why the fuck would I even try it?
Yes, completely. Yeah, but I think at this point I'm like, I don't know. If like I see it happen all the time. Like there are a few that I see a lot more. Like I did this one, it was like an acrostic poem for woke, and it was white guys on ketamine explaining basic concepts.
Yeah.
And and it had like some picture of a dude who looks like even more exaggerated than I do of a hipster.
Yeah.
And he was like, and I was like, oh, this is fun. And now that one just appears on meme pages all the time. And then I don't know if you guys saw that one I did of a baby boomer cartoon. Nah.
Yeah, maybe.
It's kind of like a parody of all those old newspapers that are like you know when like a 6-year-old like cartoonist has like a hot take on the world, and they're just like a Ben Garrison comic. So it was a satire of one of those, and that one I'm always kind of happy to see get posted, because there's like half the people know it's satire and know it's me, and then half the other people are like, this is the dumbest comic I've ever seen. I'm like,
those are, I've had that happen where you create something that's like a piss take or satirical or meant to be stupid, and like if you post it, your audience intrinsically understands your humor, so they almost always get it. But then you take that and you put it in like some vacuum, and it's so funny seeing all of these people just believe that it's real and go, this guy's a fucking idiot. That's happened to me so many times. It's awesome.
I'm about to post one this week, and I know people who don't know who I am probably won't find it funny, but the people who do follow me already will. And that's why I've been like, should I post it or not? It's like me and there's a guy on TikTok called Charlie Custard who spins stuff on his finger. I don't know if you've seen him, but he just like spin stuff. He's really good at spinning shit, right? And,
fuck this guy. Yeah, he's like
we filmed a video in Adelaide a couple months back where the joke was, it was like just a bit for the vlog, and it was like, let's see what's more popular in the streets, jokes or spinning. And obviously like the school kids around, like he's spinning shit is way better. Everyone's going nuts. Well, he's spinning a MacBook. This is crazy. I get up there and tell like there's like 20 school kids there, and I'm like, gather around. I'm like in Rundle Mall, and I just tell like this one liner that's like objectively shit, and then all these kids go, oh. And that's like the bit. And then he spins something, and it's like all got up. Like I tell them to go. I go, once he spins it, you guys are gonna go fucking crazy. And he spins it, and they'll go, ah! And then I'm just like, this is bullshit. Like, and it's obviously just a fake bit for the vlog. But I know, and my fans will understand that.
Yeah.
But you put that on TikTok, everyone will be like, these jokes suck. Spinning was clearly better. Like you already know that that's going to be like the top comment.
Completely. It hurts my soul a bit that
it's really sad as well that some people like really view everything as well in their life from like a real, like from their own, like just from a real objective standpoint. They're like,
well, that's that loud minority that we talked about at the start. Is like the people who will see stuff and then. Because Bill Burr has this great...
It's not a minority. There are some morons on that.
They're fucking kids. Like, I think they're children. Like, I don't know how the fuck I would have dealt with social media when I was 10, you know? Like, I'm living with my girl's, or I was living with my girl's little brother. He's 13, and he will show me stuff, and it will be, like, clearly fake, and he can't always identify it. He's getting better... But then, like, it's things from pranks to satirical opinions to this and that. And it's like an adult doing it, right? So it's very easy to trick a child. And I wonder what effect all of that, like, fake bullshit is going to have when they become adults.
If you think about it, we see, like, even sarcasm or humor or, like, it's funny because it sucks type jokes in day-to-day life because we hang out with other adults. I guess if you went to school, kids are actually funny. So I guess they're not. No, they're not. Like, no one is. Like, at primary school, they're not seeing those types of humor in their day-to-day life. So then they get on the internet, they're like, oh, this is real.
Yeah.
That's so weird. I never even thought about that.
It's cooked. There's also studies done with old people. Like people older than 65 are worse at identifying like misinformation and sponsored content and satire on the internet. Just because I guess they just
grew up with it.
Why would they be? They haven't grown up. I feel like the people our age and maybe 5-10 years younger and older, we're the ones that I suppose have enough perspective with the internet and with real life to identify a lot of the shit. But then you have the other spectrum who has never had the internet, and then on the other side, the people who have only had the internet. And when we're gone, it will just be that. So
we've seen it like evolve.
It grew up with us. We went through puberty at the same time. Us and the internet.
Us and the internet were growing at the same time, and then I think a lot of old people, like you 65 plus, whatever, got on it maybe like 2015.
Yeah.
Like literally only in the last probably 5 years. Whereas we're all on it from like 2011, 2012. There was that 3-year period where it was just young people. And it was fucking crazy.
It was funny.
All that shit that on Facebook that used to get posted.
Well, yeah, it's so interesting. So, like, in that same study about the old people, the other fact that blew my mind was that a lot of older people thought that the Facebook news feed was what everybody saw. They didn't know that it was an algorithm. So they thought it was like a newspaper.
Yeah,
like
why
we are
would
all
you?
getting the same news. And I'm like, of course you would.
Yeah, because everyone was. You know,
Yeah,
everyone's
it's like-
age is the age.
They would
when
assume
you get
it's,
the
it's
newspaper.
broadcast media. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
which blew
That's
my
really
mind.
interesting. Yeah,
But
it's
what
so
do you
funny.
get on your Facebook newsfeed if you don't follow any pages? Say if you make your Facebook account, you don't have any friends. Do you get anything on your feed still?
Good question.
Yeah. They just, I think they just show
They
you
just-
like a broad brush of what you should like based on, because you know you start a Facebook profile, they know your gender, they know your age, they know where you're from, so they already know what you're probably gonna like. And then if you don't like it, they go, oh well, this one's weird. Let's show them some weird stuff. And then next thing you know, they're storming the Capitol.
Ain't it true?
We did have, we're coming to the end of the episode, Cam, but we did have one question from Instagram from fans, and they wanted to ask, I guess, your thoughts and our thoughts on how to network in industry if you're an introvert, which is an interesting question.
I don't really have that experience. I'm pretty. I guess I do a little bit. Like maybe more than. I'm so sorry. Maybe like more so than yourselves, I guess, because you guys have the.
I think
stand-up
I
bone.
probably have the most experience with this. I'm a pretty introverted person naturally, and definitely
Sick.
was way more so. I think you need to learn how to it's like anything. You need to learn. Like talking to random people honestly doesn't come naturally to me. And I had to fucking learn it. I remember I started in sales when I was 18 and I wasn't very good at it. And my sales manager, who was like the most charismatic person I've ever met in my life, like he would do like $30,000 in sales every single fucking day. And I would maybe do like $200. And he recommended a few books, and I read something that was really good that was like called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And it was a great book on just literally coming down to like how to talk to people and not even get things out of them, but just prove your value to other people in a mutual way. So like just letting people know your skills, finding out what theirs are, and doing a swap is basically what it is. And I think like from someone who is still real naturally introverted, you just have to learn how to do it, and you got to be a bit shit at it. It's like anything. And even then, you know, some people are...
See, I think you grew up playing a lot of video games and stuff as a teenager.
Yeah.
During that period of your life where you work out how to socialize in high school, I was doing a lot of sport, like footy clubs, athletics clubs, had people around me all the time of different ages. Like I used to have friends that were younger than me, older than me and stuff. I think I got a lot of people skills just out of that. I think if you are at that age, I know some young people listen to our podcast, you should actually go out of your way while you're young and like
Join a team
learn
sport.
those skills. Not even do sport. It doesn't have to be sport, but like any community, like scouts, it doesn't matter. Like some kind of community where there's people of different ages, because like I think you speak to people like differently. And now when I go to like, as soon as I started stand up, I mean, that's how I met Lewis and stuff. I used to go to places and be like, Lewis couldn't talk back to me, but I used to hold it. I used to like, he couldn't make conversation at all.
I'm a lot better at it now, but he is
Lewis.
right.
I never would have picked it.
No,
He's
I
terrible.
I'm just not. It
introduced
just doesn't
himself
come
to me.
naturally.
He introduced himself to me 3 times in a row, 3 weeks in a row. And by the third week, I was like, yeah, I know, I met you the last 2 weeks. He's like,
third time was rude. Yeah. No, I think that a lot of people are surprised, but I think it's honest. Luke says it all the time because he knows me really well. He goes, I love seeing you turn it on. I can do it, but I have to turn it on. You know, I have to decide, all right, I'm going to do this. And I think that I think that I'm actually really good at networking and connecting with people. But that's just because I just message people on Instagram when they've done something cool and I go, well done.
Yeah.
Like
think
if
that's the best
I
thing.
like someone, I will tell them.
Same.
And I don't expect anything back. I don't really expect the same. I will just, you know, like I think that's how we connected.
It is.
I think I just messaged you and I was like, hey, this thing you did is cool. I can't remember what it was, but it was cool, so I told you.
Fan of your comedy anyway. Like, that's
awesome.
Yeah. I think you'd already won me over with a lot of stuff, but then like you sealed the deal with the fucking Dreamworld joke.
That's a little
I know you got in a lot of trouble for that, but like,
yeah.
Fuck, man, that shit made me laugh.
Yeah, no, that's. I should put that on TikTok actually. Maybe get my account banned.
Oh my god, yeah, that'll be the best 2 hours of your life.
I think, I think Lewis is better at actually networking professionally, for sure. Like Lewis was the reason why we do our show out of the Misfits studio. I didn't even know who they. I think that my problem is it's a lack of. It's not that I can't talk to people. It's I don't make the effort to talk to people. To even find out about new people. I didn't even know who the Misfits were before we moved in. Like it's just some of those things where I'm not very internety. I just have my high school mates. I live a pretty normal life outside of this world. Like I have two worlds and I separate the two.
Yeah.
Heaps. I keep it very separate from my personal life. Like they're starting to come, but together now because it's just getting unavoidable because it is my life.
Yeah.
But I used to try and keep the two very separate. Like I have my comedy friends and my high school friends, and now they kind of. But Lewis is way better at it. Like, but I was also better at like say the radio. Lewis was probably the reason why we got the job on radio. I was the reason why we kept the job.
Yeah.
If that
100%.
makes sense. Like I could go into the room and like handshake all the bosses and like, how was your weekend? Blah, blah. Like at the work parties, Lewis used to leave early. I was the one getting pissed with the bosses, getting that 1 a.m. chat, pounding him out at the end going, hell yeah, can't wait for that promotion to big dog. And then like just leaving.
Money, baby.
Like I think I'm better in the room, but Lewis is definitely better at getting into the room.
100%. I would agree with that. And like the Misfits thing was, I think how I connected with them was I just messaged one of them and I was like, hey, I saw this. It was really good. I think honestly, that's a great fucking tip is just be nice and tell people when they've done something cool because not many people do. Like when you do something cool, not that many people will actually go, good on you, well done. And everyone wants to hear it. And if you do it, not with the intention to network. Like I messaged you that, and that was over a year ago.
Yeah.
And then I didn't expect anything from you, and you didn't expect anything from me. It's just like setting up a thing and being nice, and then if something happens, awesome. But if something doesn't, it's still good because you had a pleasant interaction. Like literally, just when someone does something cool, message them and go, "That's cool," or just send someone an email and go, "Hey, I'm good at producing music. If you ever need that, let me know."
So true.
Like, even I always remember people who just let me know what their skills are because I very rarely ever need it at that moment. But I always remember when someone, if I go, oh fuck, like a guy who was a producer, Midi. I think he messaged me and he goes, "Hey man, I make songs," and I didn't need him at all. But then a few months later, I wrote a song. I'm like, I need a producer. Reached out to him. I remember that guy.
Totally. I mean, that's how we found our for our animation studio. Our Foley artist was just a guy who's like, "Hey man, I see that like, you do a lot of animations and like your sound, all your Foley is coming from this stock library." He's like, "I make all my own. I'll do it for this rate." And I'm like, "You know what? Fuck yeah!" And never look back.
Yeah, it's like if you have a skill, let people know, and when someone does something cool, tell them.
I do that. It comes up. Like I've needed people like, oh, I need a cameraman in Perth tonight, last minute. And like, I would go, oh, who do I know? Like, oh, that's right. And like, cause they've just told me in the past, or people on my Discord, I remember like what skills they have and like and not that you're using people or whatever. It's just like, it's interesting. You keep it in mind in case you ever need it.
Yeah.
What would your advice be for networking, Campbell?
I'd back Lewis on like the DM compliment thing. And even I'd also add to that, not when it's something that's like crazy big because their DMs will be flooded, but even on something that's like a little bit just like a regular kind of like, like a regular good thing. I mean, both will work, but like if you just want to get a bit more traction, probably don't message them when everybody's messaging.
If something gets 10 million views, like everyone reaches out then.
Yeah.
But if someone gives me a compliment and go, "Hey man, I really like this little joke in this video that got
Exactly.
50,000. I'm like, yeah, I like that joke too. It
Dude,
was
totally.
underappreciated.
Totally. Yeah. And there's like a little bit of you that's like, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it.
I would actually say that's very good advice. Is don't be the guy. Like, it's like when people go, man, I love your You Don't Know Me videos. I'm like, oh, cool, thanks, man. And it's like the most base level compliment, because it's like, yeah, I mean, those videos got like almost 1 billion views. Probably over, like well over that by now. So it's like, okay. Yeah, like they still get shared. I saw again the other week, like 14 million uncredited. It's like 4 years old. Like I see them, they get reposted like millions of every time a year. Anyway,
Hectic.
It's just funny though when people come up to me and go, and they think I'm going to be like, wow, thank me ignoring.
No
a
one's ever
sign.
said that before.
You're unique. Like, and I do it doesn't mean you don't appreciate it, but it's like also like, hey man, you think that's the thing I'm proud of.
I just realized I've totally seen those videos as well and I loved them.
Yeah, no, that's fun. I also like them. They're funny. That's why I made them, right? But it's like, it is one of those things. I'm sure there's some things that you've made that have gone hella viral. Where you're like, that's not my best joke.
I think every single creator like always has their video that went, kind of average, that they look at and go, that's my best one. You guys are wrong.
Totally, dude.
Everyone does.
Yeah, and I'm like, man. But then, like, when someone comes in and is just like, yeah, I really dug that one. I'm like,
Yeah.
thank you, dude. Yeah.
I knew the world was wrong.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we're coming up to the end of this now, Cam. Why don't you plug your book? Let people know where and when they can get it.
Hell yes. It's called Your Head is a Houseboat by me, Campbell Walker. Chaotic Guide to Mental Clarity. And you can get it. You can either pre-order it now on Booktopia or Amazon, or link in my bio, like figure that out. Or I believe it's also going to come out at just bookstores everywhere, as well as like all the department stores like Target, Big Dub and Kmart.
Awesome.
So wherever you
my
want to...
mum works at a bookstore.
Does she?
Tell her to order a few copies.
I will. I'll ask her if she has it in stock. I'll get a copy.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And,
that's out September 29th.
Awesome. So grab that. And finally, Cam, I'm not sure if you're aware, but at the end of every year, we host the official award show of the show, the Loogies, right? Ooh. And there is a very prestigious award. The most prestigious award of the year is Guest of the Year. Now, every person who comes on our show as a guest is nominated. Okay. So, and we give every guest the opportunity to say why they should be voted for. So, Cam, why should they vote for you for Guest of the Year?
That is a brilliant question. Oh my God. I feel so put on the spot right now. Because I stutter, because I say like and you know a lot. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's a point of difference in this polished world, baby.
Not the two hosts use those words frequently, actually. And some people in the comments get very annoyed.
Well, then I guess I didn't disrupt the vibe.
Good.
Great. That's a good pitch. I didn't disrupt the vibe. All right.
Keep it flowing.
Imitation is the best form of flattery, and we are flattered. Thank you very much.
Perfect.
Thank you very much, mate. Thanks for listening, guys. Make sure you check out Cam on all of his socials as well. And thanks for joining us, mate. Really great episode.
Search Struthless.
Thank you, guys.
The Rainbow Man.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for having me.